Hi guys, welcome back to Seems Legit Garage. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about axle spacers. Axle spacers were created because I realized when you lower a BMW, a lot of times the CVs get pulled out too far. When the CVs get pulled out too far, they're kind of like working on their tippy toes and they don't have any strength when they're fully extended and they wear out faster and sometimes they even make noise. So what we offer is an axle spacer to help bring the axles back into proper spec when you lower your car. Now, they come in several different versions. Depending on what car you have, you'll have to get a different axle spacer. So, starting with the biggest is the extra large. This is pretty rare. It's only gonna be found in like M5s and stuff like that. Next is gonna be the large. This is gonna be found on things like E46 M3, most E36 M3, and just most cars with an M size axle. The size small is gonna be found on most BMW non-M cars, and the size uneven is going to be found on certain BMW 330s that were manual around 2001, 2002. Just take a look if your bolts are unevenly spaced around the circle. Some comparison here. Evenly spaced, unevenly spaced, you're going to want to get those. So the important things to note when doing this is to possibly rebuild your CVs while you're in there. That's what we just did. These axles were really loose, so we decided to re-grease them and put some new boots on. And make sure to clean all the threads. When axle spacer bolts back out is often because the threads were dirty and the Loctite couldn't set properly. So what you're gonna do is clean out the axle bolts, the threads in the output flange, clean them out. But also don't forget to clean out the holes in the CV, because a lot of times they house a lot of grease in there from the axle coming out and off. After you've done your cleaning, grab your axle spacer and you can fit it up here to understand how it fits. So see here, it's about 6.5 millimeters. And it fits right between the CV and the output flange of the diff. And what this does is keep the CVs in a happy place in their stroke, because when they're all the way out all the time, they don't move smoothly. When you're in the middle, they move very smoothly. So see the difference? Kind of gritty in the zone, happy. Now, some tips of installing axle spacers are when you have these things from the factory, don't reuse them. These are just made for the assembly line. You don't need these anymore. We're gonna take these out so you have more thread engagement. Then on the hardware, make sure to clean them just like the threads before you install them and reuse red Loctite. Once you do install them, torque to 70 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and install these screws by hand and we'll get it all torqued out. Okay, those are in by hand, so I'm gonna grab the Allen wrench. It's gonna be an 8 millimeter, and go ahead and torque those down. Now you can see the axle spacers installed. We have the grade 12.9 hardware. We're torqued to 70 foot-pounds, and we use red Loctite. This is a recipe for success for making the non-M drivetrain last longer. If you're interested in further improving the durability of your non-M driveline, we're gonna go ahead and make a video soon showing how to install an HD rear diff mount. And what that does is remove this offset rear diff mount, which ends up twisting the subframe and actually hurting the subframe mounts, which often leads to cracking, and evenly disperses the load throughout the subframe. We'll show you that later. This is the next step. But step one, always axle spacers.